The atmosphere at Bethpage this week has been charged with tension, and it turns out that being European is only the second most challenging label to carry here. Luke Donald and his European team faced a chorus of boos during the Ryder Cup opening ceremony on Wednesday. But surprisingly, the crowd's reaction to New York's Democratic governor Kathy Hochul was far more hostile. Her brief speech was nearly drowned out by loud jeers from the tens of thousands of spirited golf fans who had stuck around. In fact, Donald might want to consider recruiting Hochul as a last-minute vice-captain, just to divert some of the heat away from his squad. Carson Daly, the event's host, tried to lighten the mood by joking, "Relax, everybody, she's not Roger Goodell," referencing the widely unpopular NFL commissioner. Unfortunately, that didn't ease the crowd's displeasure. When Daly asked Hochul what newcomers should know about New York, the response from the audience was brutal. "She has no idea. She lives in Albany," shouted one man, while another yelled, "Get her out of here!" Despite her fixed, strained smile, Hochul attempted to highlight the friendliness of New Yorkers, but the locals quickly drowned her out. Daly's dry comment afterward, "That went well," captured the awkwardness perfectly as Hochul hastily left the stage. Compared to Hochul's reception, Donald's treatment was almost mild. He spoke optimistically about New York, saying, "New York is a place where if you show up with talent and a fighting spirit, the city will get behind you." A voice from the crowd immediately retorted, "No, it won't!" Donald nearly laughed when boos followed his statement. "You'll make us earn every cheer." He also slipped in a few subtle jabs at the American team regarding the financial incentives they're receiving to compete here. Remarks so understated, you'd need a diplomat's ear to catch them. "We're fueled by something money can't buy," Donald said with a knowing smile, letting the words sink in. "By resilience, togetherness, and proving people wrong." It's clear he's relished the tough questions thrown at the US players this week, especially from European journalists. Before concluding, Donald made a point of thanking Hochul, who was booed again simply for being mentioned. Following Donald, Keegan Bradley took the stage and shared a personal Ryder Cup memory that's etched in history. At 13, he attended the 1999 Ryder Cup at Brookline with his father, witnessing the US team's remarkable comeback from a 4-point deficit to clinch victory in the singles matches on Sunday. He recalled the chaotic celebration around the 17th green when Justin Leonard sank a crucial putt, though he mistakenly credited Justin Rose, who was only in his second year as a pro at the time, and certainly not old enough to have been involved. The mix-up was amusing rather than offensive. Bradley's speech was heartfelt and engaging. He recounted sneaking onto Bethpage by climbing over fences near maintenance sheds when the course was closed during his time at St. John's University. He even shared a story about getting caught by park officials halfway down the 17th hole. Additionally, he worked in the coat check room at Wheatley Hills, a nearby course. Though born in New England, Bradley considers himself a New Yorker through and through, ending his talk with a spirited "Go Giants," which the crowd enthusiastically embraced. The Americans truly know how to put on a show. Typically, Ryder Cup opening ceremonies can drag and feel painfully long, especially when held in Europe. But this one moved briskly, energized by a soundtrack featuring the Beastie Boys and Jay-Z. Highlights included a helicopter flyover perfectly timed with the final notes of the national anthem, and a parachute team landing near the 18th fairway. Though the parachutist's arrival took longer than expected, despite falling at speeds around 80 miles per hour, causing a noticeable pause, the spectacle was impressive. As the crowd waited, Daly quipped, "This might take a while. While we're waiting, does anyone have any questions for the governor? Form a line." But here's where it gets controversial. Was the crowd's harsh treatment of Governor Hochul a reflection of genuine dissatisfaction with her leadership, or just a case of sports fans venting frustration in an inappropriate setting? And what does this say about the intersection of politics and sports fandom? Do you think Luke Donald's subtle digs at the US team's financial motivations were justified? Or should sports remain separate from such debates? Share your thoughts below. Do you agree with the crowd's reactions? Or do you think they crossed a line?